The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
As we said yesterday, 2 out of 4 ain't bad. As we continue here on Mick Shots, missing a couple of our folks, but our trusty Nate Newton sitting in with us one more time this week.
I tell you what, man, and see, this is what I like and dislike about being who I am. No, for real, because I feel like every year when I go to training camp or I go to spring training, nobody thinks about me. But then when the season starts, everybody needs a bullpen.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
You're saying you're the bullpen
I'm the
guy?
bullpen, baby. I'm the bullpen. But the difference about me, I'm a closer, too. So, hey, at least I get all the money. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's Nate Newton. I'm Mickey Spagnola. Savannah's with us. And speaking of bullpens, the Rangers' bullpen was pretty good last night.
I hear you, my brother. I figured you would jump on that.
You got to have a bullpen, right? One game away from winning the World Series, thanks to a combination of about 5 or 6 bullpen pitchers last night, holding Arizona at bay as they scored 11 runs.
Wow.
First team in World Series history to put together consecutive 5-run innings.
Wow.
In the second and third,
When
right?
it was 10-1, I was just like, the Rangers have this in the bag.
I still was worried that they'd get into that bullpen, and it 11-1 turned 11-7 and had to use their closer to finish the thing. But anyway, we're glad to have Nate with us. As we said yesterday, Everson and Bill were off on duty with other jobs, and so, thanks to Nate, Savannah and I don't have to do this by ourselves. So we're glad to have you again.
Glad to be here, my friend. Glad to be here,
As the
man.
Cowboys are on the practice field getting ready for these Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, and we can do a little clean up some work here. Mike McCarthy on the injury update. Savannah, he did say that Tyron would not practice today. Was that right? He was.
I believe so. I think he's with the rehab.
The rehab
group.
guys, yeah. And it was part rehab, part Veteran Day anyway.
Rest.
And he thought that Chuma Edoga would do a little something, so we'll see where that one goes. But as we said yesterday, Jerry Jones was optimistic that both guys, or at least one of the two, should be good for the game on Sunday. They did make a couple, ended up with a couple roster moves. The recently signed tight end Eric Saubert to the practice squad was poached by Houston. So to replace him on the practice squad, Dakota Shepley was re-signed, and they also lost Chris Glazer to the Jets off the practice squad. So these guys were only here a week. The Cowboys signed in the practice squad. Now these guys got signed. And when you get signed off a practice squad, you're guaranteed 3 weeks of basically
veteran money.
Yeah, veteran money. So that's good for them. And finally, Brandon Aubrey was named the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Great. It's about time.
Right? What was the game? He made the 4 field goals, and he couldn't make it because some punter hit a 80-yard punt or something.
Oh, that was earlier on. I think that was
a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
But anyway, so Aubrey, with his 2 field goals against the Rams in a career-high 58-yarder, now has 18 straight to tie the NFL record for most consecutively made field goals to start a career. And the last time the Cowboys had a special teams player named NFC Special Team Player of the Week was Brett Maher in his first time around with the Cowboys in 2018 and 2019. But how about this? The last rookie to win that award was 2011 Dan Bailey. How about that? So the Cowboys have, somehow, some way cobbled together some decent kickers over the years. But Brandon Aubrey richly deserves this. One more field goal, or if he makes his next field goal, that'll be 19 straight, and he'll have an NFL record to his resume. So just doing a little cleanup there, housekeeping, as we get you ready for the Cowboys to get ready for these Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, sir.
Also, by the way, so we probably need to talk about this. They did not make any trades at the trade deadline, and I don't know where you stand on changing out your roster 9 weeks into the season, but the Cowboys did not make an addition.
I'm sorry, y'all. I can't get involved in that. I don't care. I really don't. I got the Eagles I got to concentrate on. I don't think the players care, and evidently the coaches don't care, and we know upper management don't care, because the one that runs it all said from day one, we ain't changing nothing. So this is who we are. This is what we need. I keep hearing people talking about a power runner. We have him in Rico Dotto. All we got to do is use him. Our offensive line, we can't give up a first and a second for that type of lineman. So we got who we got. The only thing I did, I asked, if Tyron if you're gonna play, practice. If you're not gonna play, let Chuma do the job. And Chuma, if you can't practice, let's just put Awesome out there and let's go to work. It's not a time to look back and wonder what should have been. It is about now and going forward.
And the other thing I think you've got to remember is the Cowboys made trades before the season started, right? They traded for Stephon Gilmore. They traded for Brandon Cooks. And they don't have next year a fourth-round pick, Trey Lance, a fifth-round pick, which was Stephon Gilmore, or a sixth-round pick, which ended up being Brandon Cooks. Mm-hmm. So they already traded a lot of draft capital already. And guess what? The trades for Gilmore and Cooks, they didn't have to wait 8 weeks to get these guys. They got them for the first 8 weeks of the season.
And Coach McCarthy said earlier today he's very happy with where our roster is at right now. He was asked about the trade deadline, and he's just content with where our guys are at the moment. And obviously, we didn't make any notable trades during this time, but we have to go with what we have right now, and that's the plan.
And really, I'm going to go back to what you said about the offensive line. Who out there has excess on their offensive line that they can trade you for a sixth-round pick, say? There's not enough offensive linemen to start, right?
Mick, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I meant what I said. Y'all can talk about this. I'm through. I'm serious. I'm not. I'm through. This is who we are. You better accept it and try to get better.
Right.
You either all in or you're not.
Right.
I'm all in.
Or to go back to what Savannah said about Mike McCarthy, what he was talking about today is we've got young guys that we have to grow.
Yes, you do.
And get better.
Awesome.
Right?
Yes. TJ Bass. These guys are going to be here. They are right now are great depth players. And I to my two left tackles, Chuma, Smith, if you're hurt, get over there and let Awesome get in the game. He might as well get baptized by sweat coming in right now. You know what I'm saying?
Put him in.
Yeah, you. It's time to go. I mean, I'm thinking like when I played. If you brought in somebody, we welcomed him with open arms. We've always been that way. But you didn't. The coach told you, the ownership told you, you're the team. Mm-hmm. Let's go to work. Prove them right.
Right.
I think Coach Johnson told us that during one time these periods came up. He said, I like my team, but y'all got to prove me right now.
Right.
Prove your coach right.
Because I can't think of, back in your day, those early 90s, making any trades at the trade deadline.
Nah, man.
Well, you brought in the one year Bernie Kosar, right? As
Yeah.
a backup quarterback.
Yeah, that one. Come on, man, let's go.
And then you brought in.
Nate's over this.
Wait, this is my favorite one that they brought in. I think it was right before the start of the season. They needed a deep snapper. Dale Hellestrate.
That was the best one, best draft, that best move we ever made. Kept him for 85 years. We used to call him Herman the Monster.
Helly.
The monster.
He
Yeah.
was one of the best deep snappers ever in the league.
Ever.
And I believe they also traded for Giesick, too, at one point.
Yeah, man, Giza can't, yeah. But we got him before the season
That's
from the Raiders.
before the season
Yes,
started,
we got
right?
him before the season.
Yeah.
Great player.
And then they picked up Nate off the USFL before the season.
Yeah, yeah.
When they folded, right?
Yeah, best thing they ever did, they built a team around me. That's how big I was.
There you go.
340 pounds.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Cowboys stand pat. And really, when you looked at it, unless somebody was giving them a sweetheart deal, we saw all these, they're going to trade this cornerback or that cornerback was going to be traded, and they didn't get traded. Like I said, the Cowboys made their trades before. If you wanted an offensive lineman, my question is, okay, who? Because you got to be available. And they certainly weren't, as Nate said, weren't giving up a first-round pick or a second-round pick to bring in a guy that just because of injuries you needed something else. So anyway, moving forward here, the Eagles look like they're pretty healthy. We'll see when the injury update comes. But I did see it pointed out in the Philadelphia Daily News that Jalen Hurts is nursing some sort of leg injury, knee injury. He's had a gimpy knee, and they pointed out that he only ran the ball this last game against Washington 4 times. So they were kind of putting that 2 and 2 together and saying, okay, well, maybe he's protecting himself. But when a guy's healthy enough to throw for 4 touchdown passes, a career high, and he also threw for a career high 300 and some yards against Washington, that knee can't be too bad. So, Nate, just real quick on Jalen Hurts and the growth you've seen him after we watched him at Alabama and watched him at Oklahoma, right?
This kid is so mature and so about the moments of life. I mean, I just remember a kid, Tua, taking his job in the national championship game. Who was the first guy to congratulate Tua on the field? Who was the guy I've never ever, y'all got better contacts than me in the media, I never ever heard something negative come out his mouth about any other person.
He's just a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah. So I'm saying to myself, I like the growth. He got to quit putting the ball. Well, no, don't stop this game. Keep fumbling a little bit. Keep throwing a few interceptions. But if he erased a couple of his interceptions, not put the ball on the ground, he would be really killing the league. That's the only thing that's keeping him from. I mean, his stats are still up there with the best in the league. I mean, he never changes. He fumbled the ball, walked off the field. Then two series later, he throw a touchdown, and he's the same guy sitting on the bench. Mm-hmm. He is. I'm like, does anything ever faze this kid?
Right.
Man. So I have the utmost respect for him. He know who he is. I think he knows who he is. He's a great athlete who can throw the football. He has no problems with that. A lot of quarterbacks will have problems with that. They don't want to be that great athlete who has the ability to throw the ball and get him better. This kid has grown tremendously. I mean, you would think that I like the Eagles, and that's one of the most hated teams for me in the world, But the player, I've never hated on players. I may have hated on teams, but not players.
And right now, he's thrown
8 interceptions.
8 interceptions.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I think people are sort of looking at. But again, he's been awfully productive. 13 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions, and I think maybe the most impressive stat on his line here is his average gain per throw. It's
7.6.
It's 7.6.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And
I'm up on this kid, man. I've been
7th in the league, that ranks.
Yeah, I've been studying this kid, Miss Savannah. Mm-hmm. The day after we stomped the Rams, I just been just watching the Eagles, just because this is the NFC East, and you don't know where no one's at right now. The 49ers has proven that fact, whether it's injuries or whether it's just going through a bad spell. The 49ers are showing everybody we're all human. Mm-hmm. So now the Cowboys have seemed to got some type of rhythm on offense due to Dak being better. I mean, we don't have no running game, but Dak is better. That makes our team better. Our defense, young Parsons came out, got a sack early. That's what I tell people. He reminds me of that Moody receiver. Get him off early, and oh my God, he gonna kill you the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. But the longer he goes without making a play, the defense kind of follows his lead. Mm-hmm. So when he can get it right early, make some type of play, a hit for a loss, a run, or whatever, and he's geeked, the rest of the team just take off.
And that's going to be key against the Eagles is our defense and being able to stop Jalen Hurts. And you have to do it early enough so he's not making those passes deep down to A.J. Brown for sure.
And I heard just one clip from Micah Parsons' podcast, and it's a one-man podcast, by the way. He doesn't share. It's just him, right? So if you've ever done one of these by yourself, you know you're scared to quit talking.
That's right.
It's like you're scared of silence. Like, if I stop, they're going to think I don't know what's next, right? And he went on and on about how good Philadelphia was, how good their offense was, and what a challenge this was going to be. But to me, times when I saw Hurts in college, you were sitting there going, okay, I just don't know from a passing standpoint if he's going to cut it in the NFL. But you know what? He's improved. He improved his passing. He improved his accuracy. And now for the Cowboys, what they have to make sure of is that they get pressure on him, but keep him in the pocket because he can hurt you when he starts scrambling and running the ball. And that's one of the things that they've got to be cognizant of when they rush. It's got to be a concerted pass rush, not everybody chasing him the same way and letting him out of the pocket, because regardless of if he's got a gimpy knee or not, he can still hurt you running the football. And we'll continue talking more about these Eagles coming up here on Mick Shots.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker, Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys. I am just reading that Jalen Hurts has been named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Oh, very good. So we got Offensive Player of the Week and Special Teams Player of the Week butting heads against each other in this game against those Philadelphia Eagles.
It would be nice to win this by 3.
How about 1?
Win. I'm with you. Win. I'm 100% with you, Mick. Win the game. Win the game.
So what do you think the benefits of not maybe long-term, but going out and winning a game like this, what does that do for you going forward?
It tells your team we're there. This team is not, and I hate to say this, as much as y'all know I'm a homer to the wheels fall off, but they have not had this game that says we are here. Look at us. We are the Dallas Cowboys. We have not had that victory yet. We need that victory. Now, it may not last but that 1 week.
Right.
But you need that game. And I'll give you an example because I hate to keep bringing these people up. The 49ers beat us and have lost 2 in a row.
3.
And people still saying, hey, the Cowboys, them 49ers. I'm just saying, because it was a game which they have had each year saying, look at us.
Right.
We have arrived. And it may be only short-lived, but we need that game. We need it. We need a game that says that.
I was trying to remember back to last year if they had one like that. And maybe not until they faced Philadelphia the second time, but then they beat them without Jalen Hurts.
I think when they got into the playoffs, it was kind of a little bit with Tampa, just a little bit.
Right.
And so, but that was a team that was shaking all year was Tampa Bay. But I'm telling you, if somehow, some way we can win this game, I don't care how ugly it is, you go on the road where your record is not that great, for it's going against 500 teams. You go on the road, you beat this team. I don't care how, 1 point, a half a point, the kid's Brandon legs about to fall off and he makes a 70-yarder. I don't care how it go. You just win the game. Let people know that, hey, we're here.
I know we talked about the Cowboys getting their foot, in the door early. You have to score a touchdown. You got to put some points on the board early to take the lead. And I think that's still definitely key going into the Eagles because it's been proven that when they have been taking the lead early, that's where you're seeing these wins come out.
And that really helps your defense, right?
Exactly.
If the other team's got to play from behind. So you explain, and these games were maybe before Savannah was born, I'm not sure, but how important it was when you guys finally were able to beat Philadelphia.
They got that 12-sack game on us. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And
so does Troy.
The what
the
game?
12-sack game is when Troy's up in the booths early with Joe Buck. We had a 12-sack game and probably got hit 80,000 times. Then we came back and beat them later on in the year. Kevin Martin had like an 83, 87-yard punt return to break the game open. We won, and then we started building from there. It was a game to put the NFL on notice the Cowboys are coming. And we got better each year and got deeper in the playoffs each year. A lot of people just say Super Bowl, and they was even back then. Super Bowl, we're a Super Bowl. Well, Jimmy didn't let us believe that. Jimmy believed that it was steps to be taken. On my show that I do, hey, Super Bowl or bust. Well, okay, fine. None of them never been to the Super Bowl, so they don't know about taking steps. And I'm just being straight up honest. They don't know about taking steps. But what the Cowboys need to do is take a step. Beat a team that you don't know. We don't know what the Cowboys and Eagles going to do, like we didn't know what the 49ers and Cowboys. Beat a team like that. This is what separates the Kansas Cities from the world. And when the Cincinnati Bengals are healthy, you know. And even this game I'm watching, the Miami Dolphins and Eagles, I left from this game. They dominated Miami. I left from this game saying, wow, Miami okay. They had 3 starters going off their offensive line. They got a deep offensive coordinator that's a genius, the head coach. I'm like, wow, boy, if they had their offensive line intact, they just could have ran the ball just a little bit, it could be a different story. See, I look at the game a little bit different than most people. It ain't always about wins and losses during the regular season. It's about can you continue to build on what you have. And so can the Cowboys build on what they have? That's why I need for my young players to be practicing. You know, if Chuma don't want to practice, if Tyron can't practice, I want Awesome in there practicing. You get what I'm saying? Getting those reps.
So explain to people how intense these games had been with Philadelphia.
The rivalry.
The rivalry.
To the point where the coaches would, coaches would throw caution to the wind. Coaches would take shots before the games at coaches. And I think one time we had a deal with Philadelphia where they came at our kicker. You remember that, when they came at St.
89.
Yeah, they came at our kicker. And Jimmy wanted, I'll go out there and I'll do this to Buddy Ryan. It was funny. Hey, here's another coach. Both of these guys probably had problems tying up their shoes. And they talking about fighting. You know, they talking about beating up one another. They just wanted their teams to be tough. And they took shots at us. We took shots at them. It wasn't no, but you had the board in the room. You don't want to put nothing up on the board.
Bulletin board material.
We didn't care. We hated Philly to the point when we went up there with their fans. We would be up in the vet, that raggedy, no good, sorry, concrete built vet. But they had a jail down at the bottom. I'm saying they had a jail and
a judge.
And a judge.
A jail and a judge.
Yeah, because they would fight the other fans and even fight their own selves. So they're like cannibals. But anyway.
It's the only place I think I've ever gone when there was fights break out in the stands.
Yeah.
That they actually landed punches.
Yeah.
The other stuff is kind of wrestling and everything, but in Philadelphia.
They're fighting.
They were fighting.
And so... But we would talk to the fans crazy. They would throw batteries. They put snow, get batteries and wrap them up in snow and chunk them. Yeah, it was heated, and they had our number. They used to grind us up, and I knew we had finally conquered them when we beat them that year before. Came back and had the first playoff time, and we came back the next year, and. Troy, at our first home game against them, Troy, we was messing around. We had the lead, but Troy, he just stopped. Quit BSing. I want to score one more on these son of a... When Troy said that, I'm like, I knew right then. We went down and scored, boy. Troy, yeah, because he wanted, because those 12 sacks, I guess they hurt.
Yeah, although when Daniel Jones...
He was over it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the Monday night game when Daniel Jones got sacked, I think it was 11 times.
Well, yeah.
He was saying, I got sacked by Philadelphia 11 times. He goes, and I don't remember it being that bad.
Yeah, but that. You know what?
But it was.
It was. It was. I mean, I look back one time, and I just don't see how he got up. And I'm not trying to deflect, but I watched Deion's son, Colorado, go against UCLA, and then he just went and sat on the bench. and all it brought back was flashbacks of Troy. I'm like, wow, I've been there, been a part of that, and never. It should do something to you as offensive lineman. And I know we're supposed to be talking about Philly. We are talking about Philly.
We are talking Philly.
And Jimmy came in the next, like I said, we was getting ready to prepare for them the next time. Jimmy didn't say much. Troy didn't say a word. after the game. Jimmy didn't say much. But that Tuesday, we was off. We come in Monday, we off on Tuesday. That Wednesday morning, we had a meeting. And the first thing he told us, he said, I want this meeting. I need for y'all to hear me as a team. And he said, y'all understood what happened last time. Our quarterback got sacked 12 times. He was hit just times we can't even count how many times he was hit. And he said, Coach Wise is going to be mad. He's going to be cussing. And he said, I don't give a, He said, but I'm telling you, I looked at you. He said, O-line, I don't care if you have to gouge, poke, stab. I mean, it wasn't as nice as I'm saying, grab,
whatever.
Yeah. I want you to know that they better not hit my quarterback. I gave up the only sack. But other than that, they didn't touch our quarterback. Other than that, they did not touch our quarterback. And he looked over at the quarterback, which was the kid from Notre Dame. Berline. He said, Berline, he said, I don't care if you don't complete but one pass. Do not throw an interception. Get rid of that ball. Give our offensive line a chance. He said, I mean this. He said, I am not playing. And I'm not saying it's nice as what that's how he was saying it. And what was Berline in the first half? Probably about
he had like 3 of 17 or something. But he didn't turn the ball over.
He didn't turn the ball over. And this D-line is similar, not with stars, but with young talent like this team was back in the day. And I noticed.
Remind him of that front four.
Yeah, we had Seth. We had Clyde Simmons on the left.
Right.
Left defensive end. I'm talking about from my left going over.
Reggie.
We had Reggie White on the right. We had Jerome Brown on the left over me. And we had Pitts and Mike Golick sharing the right over the right guard. And then we had Evans in the middle at linebacker. And we had Seth Joyner, one of the greatest athletic outside linebackers you ever want to see. Intelligent to the bone. And I'm surprised that he didn't play long enough to put his name somewhere special. They had a squad. And they back end, I can't even think of the guys they had on that back end. They safeties and corners were outstanding. Yes. They had Muddy Waters. Remember him?
Muddy Waters.
Muddy Waters. I can't even think of his name. He was a cheap hit artist, but he could cover and he could make plays. But he would cheap shot you in a heartbeat. But anyway.
Yeah. No, and that was
I'm sorry to take up all that time.
No, that was kind of the start of where this rivalry is now. Because if you think about it, it started in the strike game.
Yes.
When Buddy got mad because the Cowboys had to play some of their veteran guys, and they ran an end around for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So they had to play him the second time after the strike ended, and they were beating the Cowboys pretty badly, and they were trying to run out the clock, and Randall Cunningham, the quarterback, they were about at the 5-yard line, something like that, and he took a knee like they were going to run the clock out.
Yeah.
And then on the next play, he faked like he was going to take a knee and threw a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
That's great.
And he goes, I'll get Tom Landry.
Yeah. This rivalry goes back further than that, but it's just by era. But it goes back with Bill Berger and all these guys way, way back. But this was it. And this is where they have always had this defense they got now is nothing new. They have always had great defenses, and yeah.
And that's a great walk down memory lane with these Eagles as we continue here in a moment on Mick Shots.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker, Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
Head to AT&T Stadium on Saturday, November 11th to experience Rally Day presented by SeatGeek. Celebrate Veterans Day with a special presentation from the Color Guard and Junior ROTC drill team, plus a 21-gun salute. Take a tour of AT&T Stadium, get autographs from the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and alumni, play games, head outside to Miller Lighthouse, and even play on the field. Visit AT&TStadium.com/Rally Days for tickets and more information.
So Nate Newton here on Mick Shots with Savannah, Mickey, and Nate sitting in for Bill. And you're taking up two people, Bill and Everson, by the way. And
honestly,
Bill's got more work to do tonight. Rangers have a chance to clinch their first World Series in their history. That began in 1972 when the team moved from Washington, D.C. to Arlington, Texas. That must have been a shock, right? You're in Washington, D.C., and now you're in Arlington, Texas, in basically a minor league stadium.
Were they the Senators or something like that?
Yeah, the Washington Senators. As a matter of fact, the guy that moved with them just passed away, Frank Howard.
Wow.
Big, tall, burly first baseman came with them from the Senators to the Rangers. So Nate was talking about that sack game. It was 11 sacks in 1991, and if I remember correctly, the game was a night game, maybe.
No, it was a day game.
It was a day game.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah,
and the Cowboys.
The nightmare was them.
The Cowboys got beat. The Cowboys got beat 24-0. 24-0, and then came back in that second to last game of the season and beat Philadelphia 25-13, and that was the Kelvin Martin touchdown return on that punt with Ike Holt making the big block on the way. I can still see it in front of me, as a matter of fact. And they clinched a playoff berth, and I remember the plane ride home. It was pretty darn rowdy.
Yeah, man, we got taking off our shirts.
They didn't need any fuel in the plane, I can tell you that, right? And that's when
Thank God for no social media.
And that was when Mark Tuinei chested up Skip Bayless, remember? In the back of the plane. Skip had said
Skip
the Cowboys
done been through some things, man.
he had said or written that the Cowboys would never get to the playoffs with Mark Tuinei at left tackle.
Mark Tuinei, Nate Newton, and Kevin Gogan.
And they clinched it, and he was on the flight. And it's a long story, but that was. And then in '92, if you remember, you played Philadelphia. That was the Monday night game out there, and it was a big build-up to the game. And there was parties going on outside the stadium. It was amazing.
It was at Philly.
It was at Philly. The Cowboys came in at 3-0. I think Philadelphia might have been 3-0 too at the same time. And the Eagles beat the Cowboys 31-7. But they came back later in the season, beat them 20-10, and then had to play them in the playoffs again and skunked them 34-10.
We weren't joking.
So that gives you a backdrop to what this rivalry has been, and I would imagine that this will be a big deal on Sunday.
It will.
With the Eagles 7-1, the Cowboys 5-2.
You need that statement game. Just let the league put the league on notice. Just put the league on notice that we are here. We're here to stay. This is our third year of winning. Mm-hmm. It's been a long time since we had 3 years of winning. You can not like Coach McCarthy, you can or whatever. It don't matter. When you win and you continue to win, and then but you need that statement game. Mm-hmm. And so sooner or later he got to give them that statement game.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is your time to do it. And the team, they feel that too. The pressure is on, and they know that. They know how big this game is coming up on Sunday. And even in the press conference earlier, Coach was being asked a couple questions, and he was like, honestly, like, my mind's been 72 hours of straight Eagles. Like,
yes.
he wouldn't answer a couple of the questions because he was like, I've just been thinking about the Eagles. They're all feeling the pressure, and they know what they need to do.
Yes, and the thing is, he knows that he's a winner. He knows the importance of this game. Win, lose, or draw, he knows the importance. And he knows he can't leave this game with like I say, winning and losing is everything. I agree 100%. But you can't leave this game thinking it's the end of the world. Even with a win or even with a loss, you can't leave this because you still have, 10-9 after that? This is a long season. You have to keep stacking, keep building, and keep doing it in the right way. The pre-snap penalties cannot be an issue. Blown assignments cannot be an issue. It's one thing to get beat, because a guy is better or a girl is better. But it's another thing to be like, wow, I didn't play my best game. Well, why? Well, I had 3 offsides. I had 2 holdings. I blew 4 coverages. You don't want to lose a game like that. We was looking in the backfield. They got us with eye candy. Our defense has been up under coach now 3 years. Am I correct?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
This is
no
the
more.
Third year.
No more. No more. I'm always picking on J. Lou because I love him, and that's my guy. So, Mick don't like him because he's a short guy. But anyway, not nothing personal. It's just the height that gets Mick. Do your job. Don't do nothing else. Mm-hmm. Don't think that you saw something. If you got the slot receiver, he come down inside and you supposed to ride him all the way across, ride him all the way across. Mm-hmm. Don't say, I saw no, ride him all the way across. If you're a guard, if you're a defensive tackle and you see that guard step down inside of you, step down and get solid. Don't run out because something coming. Do your job. Read your keys. React from there. Play solid football. Let your talent take over.
That simple.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. It is.
Well, we've got a minute or two left. Savannah, do you have any Eagle questions for Nate that he needs to expound on?
Actually, what I did appreciate about the last game on Sunday was our ability to clean up some of those penalties. And I think that's super big going into this week as well. And I just want to hear both of your thoughts on it because
I think it was only 3 maybe in the game.
Because I know after the Chargers game, that was a huge thing they talked about was cleaning up the penalties. And I think that'll be super key for Sunday as well.
Yes. You don't need the pre-snaps. Some penalties happen. Some penalties happen. A guy's better than you. He double moves you in your corner. You reach out and grab him. Mm-hmm. Some things happen. I understand. But to have too many men on the field or not enough men on the field, lining up in the backfield when you should be up on the line, no, you can't. We can't do that. Mm-hmm. Don't hurt yourself. You on the road. You on the road. Go over all of this in practice. and move as fast as you can in practice. That much as coach will allow you, move as fast as you can so you can almost get as close to real time as you can. And give yourself a chance. Adversity is coming. This is what I'm preaching. Adversity is coming. Do not let one bad play by a ref or by your own teammate or another guy getting away with something change the whole
momentum. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Momentum is earned. And once you get it, don't release it. And I know I sound like Jason Garrett, and a lot of people may be like, I don't hear the Jason Garrett speech. But Jason Garrett got it from Jimmy. Jimmy got it from Bill Parcells. It came from great people. Mm-hmm. Bill Parcells probably got it from somebody else who got it from Vince Lombardi. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this team has not, and you say, Miss Savannah, play with a lead. You may not get a lead, but Parsons has to be big. Yes. Curtis has to be big. Jonathan Hankins has to be big. I ain't talking about players that haven't been there before or haven't made plays. I'm talking about guys that have made plays for us.
Right.
Deron Bland got to sit, be patient. And when the play is presented, hey, Bland, make the play. I ain't asking for a guy that ain't never made a play to make a play. I'm talking about guys who are normally making plays and doing their jobs at normally a high level to continue to play at that high level, but hold everybody to you got to discipline. You got to be disciplined. That's what Coach Johnson would tell me. Nate, I know you're going to say or do something crazy here pretty soon, but we don't need for you to get out of character too soon. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Now, when we got this game won, then if you want to do something crazy, go do something crazy. But do not mess up this game. Stay on side. Yeah.
Same message today.
Words to play by from Nate Newton here on Mick Shots, and thank you for filling in.
Thank y'all, man.
Couple days. This has been great. And Savannah and I, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I think we have our guys back. If
they
not,
better show up, man.
Yeah. Wow. This is a big game.
Everson has no excuse. We don't. But
he's not in Arizona.
Yeah, we know what Bill is doing. What is Everson doing?
Well, you know what? I don't know. Bill would have to take off pretty soon. Because he's got to work tonight.
He'd be pulling an all-nighter,
right?
yeah.
Right? See how tough he is to get here in time for Mick Shots. Because there's no game tomorrow, by the way. But it's also stuff to cover, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But appreciate you being here, buddy.
Thanks, Nate.
Always great. Savannah, and if nothing else, Savannah and I will be here tomorrow doing Mick Shots on DallasCowboys.com. See you guys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!